A very good morning to you and welcome to a brand new day today, the Monday of 23rd of 2026, that is of March. And this is the Scope Conversation where sunrise meet headlines and every conversation matters, coming to you live from Citiscope TV right here in Citiscope Television. And remember, we bring to you from breaking news, politics, business, up to entertainment, up to our sports news. Make sure you grab your cup of coffee and we start this brand new day together. I'm Clifford Ogonda from Citiscope TV, and let's get started. And today I'm here with Mheshimiwa, that is an aspirant of Kondele Ward. Mheshimiwa is a Cecil Okoth. Mheshimiwa, thank you so much for creating time. Thank you so much for creating time to be with us here in Citiscope Television. And first of all, we just want to get into the conversation. Remember, we are in the Scope Conversation this morning. We want to break to you down why Mheshimiwa is looking for this seat at the Kondele Ward and the development plans that Mheshimiwa has for the people of Kondele. We want to know and we want to get his manifestos and what his plans are and what he's going to do different from the current MCA who is in Kondele Ward currently. Mheshimiwa, first of all, just maybe to know, I understand we have no office in Kondele Ward. Maybe for those who don't know, or those who want to know, is there an office in Kondele?
First of all, thank you for hosting me today.
Yes.
For those who don't know me, my name is Citiscope. I come from Kondele Ward.
Yes.
There is an office
Mm-hmm.
in Kondele Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there is an office for MCA.
Mm-hmm.
Very parish.
Where is the office located?
The
Because
office is located at Kosao Hall.
uh-huh.
Yes, that is where the office is.
Uh-huh. That has been operational for a while now.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
personally I visited the office and I can attest that the office is there.
Uh-huh. And then, Mheshimiwa, why Kondele Ward?
The reason why Kondele Ward is that is where I stay,
Mm-hmm.
that is where I was born,
Mhm.
that is where I was raised,
Mhm.
that is where I went to school,
Mhm.
and that is where everything I have known about life
Mhm.
is from.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so that is why
Mhm.
I love Kondele Ward and decided learning a leadership trip so that I can make a few changes that I have seen happening in Kondele Ward since my childhood.
Mm-hmm. Now, maybe maybe the experience that you've had in Kondele that you feel that is compelling you to vie for this office. Maybe you've seen some challenges that you want to see in Kondele. You've said that this is where you've grown and this is where you are brought. What challenges that you think the people of Kondele Ward are facing that you think you need now?
The greatest challenge that we are facing, we have 3 or 4 major challenges.
Mm-hmm.
The first challenge we are facing is lack of employment opportunities for young people.
Mm-hmm.
You find the population in Kondele Ward is very high,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a lot of young people
Yes.
who don't get opportunity, job opportunity, or
Mhm.
even employment opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one thing I want to step up and see how we're going to change so that we can engage young people more frequently and attach them to various institutions that can offer them empowerment,
Mhm.
can also offer them employment.
Mhm.
So that is something that we must focus on,
Mhm.
because if we are going to have a lot of young people engaged,
Mhm.
then we are going to be on a positive track of changing our society.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Another thing that we want to focus on is how we going to develop and manage the kind of businesses that are being done in Kondele.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of our mothers business people
Mhm.
and they do small businesses.
Mhm.
So how are we going to try and look for funds or solicit funds from the county government or the national government so that they can help boost small business people within our ward?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Another thing is another elephant that maybe has existed for long
Mhm.
is you find Kondele Ward as a whole does not have a health facility.
Yeah.
And you find the population in Kondele is so huge
Mhm.
without even a dispensary, then we have a facility that has been under construction for almost 15 years, so that we can push for
Mm.
get healthcare services, because you find healthcare services, those are not luxurious things, like a basic need.
Yes. I understand that there is you've I think is it the one that you're talking about, the hospital, is it there's an annex around there's a building that was being built, being built for health facility, that is around opposite Kosao Hall, and the building has not been completed yet. You that is that the one that you are talking about?
Yes, that is the one that.
Now, what's the plan? Because I understand, is it something that the current MCA is working on, or the MP? Because I understand it's something that was started some times back, and it's been on still for a while.
It's a big elephant in the house, and I just hope the current MCA maybe finishes it, but if that doesn't work,
Mhm.
it will be very bad for us. But
Mhm.
must have a facility
Mhm.
within Kondele Ward.
Now, maybe your responsibilities as an MCA, I understand that you are one of the people that make sure that the developments in the county are completed. And now that this one is not completed, what do you think about the current MCA?
The current MCA has done a good job, and that is one thing I must commend, because being an MCA in an area like Kondele is the most difficult thing. And you see the office of MCA that promise, I will do this, I will do this.
Yes.
So you must work with the county government so that you lobby for development within your ward.
All right, let me just cut you short a little bit. We are taking a quick short break, and we'll get back with the right, welcome back. This is the scope conversation. We are continuing with the scope conversation. Remember, we are having Mheshimiwa, that is an aspirant of Kondele Ward, that is Cecil Okoth. Mheshimiwa, we were talking about a health facility that is was started some times back, that is in Kondele Ward, the building that is just direct opposite to the Kosao, where you're saying that Mheshimiwa, the current Mheshimiwa's office is located. I don't know, is it that the funds were not enough for the completion of this health facility? Because there's a time that that facility was launched, that it was going to be operational, and there are other services that were brought to that. And currently, I don't see that office working. What do you think about that? And I asked you about what also do you think about the current MCA? What is he doing about it? And probably what's the problem with the functional of that facility?
I cannot tell what the problem is because I am not the current MCA.
Yes.
The current MCA can tell us what is the problem because actually even for me, I am very worried about the hospital because you cannot run an hospital for more than 5 years.
Yes.
So it means it's a challenge that needs to be addressed.
Yes.
So that we get that project completed. So I don't know what the challenge has been because that hospital is overdue. Because it's an hospital that was started with the previous regime, the first MC of Gabriel Ochi. That process has been ongoing since then. So I don't know what the problem is, but I just hope that we get to the completion of that hospital. Yes.
Now, apart from now that hospital, now you as an incoming MCA, do you think the roads and within the Kondele ward are in good condition?
I think for the infrastructure like road, there has been an immense improvement because under the county we have had the KSIP project, which we have seen roads being built. Yes, so in terms of roads, we have good roads actually in Kondele County. Because you find there was this road from to Konambuta that has been done from Konambuta going down to Kaego that has been Opinju an improvement in roads.
Now let's talk about floods, and now the roads that you mentioned are a little bit improved. Recently, the current rainfall that has been happening since early last month, and just the other day it rained seriously, and most of members in Kondele ward were affected, and that one means that the drainage within Kondele ward is pathetic. What's your plan about that? What are you planning to do with the drainage?
I think even as we speak, there is work that is going on to make the drainages. And most of them are not even because of what.
And do you think the county government has done enough to make sure, or maybe to mitigate the current flooding that is happening?
No, for me, I think partly I blame our county government, partly giving oversight to the county, because there are a lot of things we have expected county to do that fall short on that, and
Now let's talk about the people involvement. How is your relationship with the people of Kondele Ward?
I think I have the best relationship with people. Like I said, you see, this is where I interact with people in my life, and this is where I also do my business. You get to interact with people on the current issues that are happening, on the life standards that we are having, on we are conversations that have been
All right, we are taking another quick short break and we'll be back with some more updates. All right, welcome back, and this is the Scope conversation. We are continuing with our conversation with Mheshimiwa, that is an aspirant of Kondele Ward, Mheshimiwa Cecil Okoth. Mheshimiwa, we've talked about disaster management and also response, and I think you have responded to that. Now, let's talk about the cost of living. Now, maybe have you identified one major, maybe one major activity that you think generates revenue to your people of Kondele Ward?
You see, I cannot say that I have identified one business that will generate money to the people of Kondele, because you see, people do different businesses within Kondele Ward. So the main point is, how are we empowering and boosting the current small businesses within Kondele Ward? Yes, so that is the most important thing that we need to focus on, not identifying one single business that is going to bring revenue to, because one single business cannot feed the people of Kondele Ward. Yes, so it's the small businesses that we make sure we have a conducive environment that enables people to do business, because that is number one thing. We must make sure there is enough security, because there have been a lot of insecurities recently. So we must make sure our community is very secure for people to do business. Yes.
Now, speaking of insecurity, and these are some of the things that hinder the people of Kondele Ward to do their businesses, because up to probably late hours. Currently, if you walk around these roads, you find that most of the security lights are not functional. And now, you as an incoming MCA, what are you going to do maybe to make sure that there's a lot of security lights, and even within the markets within the world, because you find that those floodlights that help the small businesses at least to run until some a little bit late hours, because if they don't work, the business men and women tend to at least close a little bit early. Now, what's your plan for that?
You see, one thing I always tell people: security starts with you, and you find there are structures within our community. We have the chief, we have the assistant chief, we have the village elders, we have the community policing.
Yeah.
So how are we putting these structures into work? How are we putting these structures into task? How are we going to support these structures so that they help us in building our security? They help us in improving our security. But you find maybe the current regime, or maybe the current set of leaders does not appreciate the kind of work that is being done with community policing, the kind of work that is being done with village elders, because these are people who understand security from door to door to a whole bunch of a community. So we must put a lot of effort within these structures so that it helps us build and secure ourselves. And we must also, you find if you walk around, maybe you find most of the street lights are not working. I would advise, or in our next regime, we would do a lot of security lights, but we must make sure they are, most of them are solar powered, so that we don't have this back and forth of maybe there is problem with Kenya Power, so we don't have lights, street lights, because the bills are piling, they're so high. So we must make sure we have solar powered lights, so that we reduce the expenses of even having to pay for power.
Now, you talked about earlier on there, you talked about empowering young people. And I find that most of the insecurities are caused by young people, because if you go to the Kondele police station, you'll find a lot of young people, mostly during the weekends, they do a lot of bad stuff, and they get arrested a lot. And have you identified that one thing that you are going to use to empower, or maybe to engage these young people, so that they stop thinking of robbery and things like that, maybe pickpocketing and such stuff, or maybe being used by even politicians to destroy people's properties and everything? Have you identified one thing that you can use to engage or to mobilize the youth, so that they focus on other things, maybe development stuff, other than doing other?
Yes, we have tried to put some measures, and the first thing we have been trying to do is having something called Gumzo Mtaani, where we have been trying to meet young people within these areas, within the Kondele units, and we have been advocating for young people to have youth groups, so that we find a way of linking and supporting them as a group. Because you find if you people are in a group of maybe 20 people, then it's easy to have educational meetings, it's easy to have empowerment engagements, and it is easy to link them to initiatives and to organizations that can help them in developing themselves. And you find even currently there is the vocational training Rotary. There was an intake that was done, and you find we really encourage young people to apply for courses there. Those who are going to do electrical, those who are going to do plumbing, those who are going to do mason, those who are going to so that we have a lot of young people engaged as much as possible positively, and make sure they do something that is going to impact on their life. Yes, so that is something we have been trying to make sure we are doing, so that we have a lot of young people who are positively helping in building our community. Yes.
And maybe have you helped, maybe identified or sponsored some few youths so that they can join the vocational trainings or maybe polytechnics? Have you sponsored any?
Not any, so many, because if you go to Rotary, there are so many, because it was a call that was out through the office of the MCA. So we had to reach out to the MCA, like we have these youths that also wants to be part of this. So we helped them acquire materials that were needed if they were not in a position to get. So we really helped them to acquire those so that they can be enrolled in Rotary vocational training.
And now, apart from that, any other thing that you will probably help in maybe in bringing up maybe people who are probably vulnerable in the Kondele ward? Anything that you've done that is been helpful to the people of Kondele ward?
You see, I have done so many things that maybe would take a whole day to explain the things I have done. Because the first thing you find currently, there was a problem in school. So we had to come in and find how we're going to help the most vulnerable kids to go to school. So we have like 5 that are fully sponsored from my side, and we have like 7 that we partially pay their fee. So that is something that we are doing in Kondele ward, because education is the whole key that is going to levelize the playing ground. Because if you are not going to get access to education, then it means we are going to increase crime rate, we are going to increase insecurity, and we are going to increase young girls giving birth to the society. So that is why we put a lot of effort in making sure our young people get education, access to education without any hindrance. So that is one thing we have been doing. And another thing that, like I said, I am a businessman also. I am a director of a company called Urban Shuttle. So Urban Shuttle works in the transport industry. So we have like young people within Kondele ward that are employed directly by Urban Shuttle. So that they can have a daily life income through that. Yes, so that is something that is happening within Kondele.
Now, speaking of education, we are in a conversation of 100% transition, and now there are probably the people in Kondele ward that are not able to take their children to school. Have you probably made sure that the people of Kondele ward, there is no child left behind in terms of make sure they get to school and also get whatever they need so that they can school smoothly?
I cannot say I have made sure everyone go, because I cannot be everywhere at the same time. But I have tried to preach that everywhere I go, I say, let us not have any child back at home. If you know you have a child that needs to go to school and you are not able, please reach out so that we see how we're going to assess. So we have tried to do that, and hopefully we are praying that each and every child that was to attend grade 10 went to school. Yes, so that is our prayer and our wish.
Now maybe let us shift now our conversation a little bit. Now let's talk about now your campaigns. Do you think you have the money for the MCA campaign?
What do you mean by you have the money?
Do you think, because it's campaign and not that cheap, you understand? Be it MCA, be it any seat that you're vying for, it is not that cheap. And we are in Kenya, and you know handouts are a must. If you don't give them handouts, then you think that this guy doesn't have money, so he or she knows fit for this seat. Now, how are you prepared for 2027?
You see, I know we are very prepared because we have been sustaining this campaign of Cecil being an MCA for more than 2 years now. So if we have sustained this for more than 2 years, and we are only like 14 months to the election, so that is a small time that we cannot say we are not ready to get to the election. So it's something we know, and it's something we are really prepared for, and it's something we are going to do. Yes, so it's not something we are just here to try or something we are joking about. It's something we have put everything that we have into so that we make sure we get what we want.
So do you think is this maybe your first time or vying, or you've been vying? Have you vying before?
I have never vied, and this is going to be my first time.
It's going to be the first time.
Yes.
And you believe that you are going to find this?
I don't believe. I am sure of
You're
what
sure
I am
you're
doing.
finding
Yes,
this.
I am sure Cecil is going to be the next MC of Kondele
Your
Award.
relationship with your competitors, because I understand you have competitors also.
Yes, I don't have any grudge with my competitors because we're in a democratic country, and each and every person has a right to vie, and I respect them because it is their right to vie. So it is upon every competitor of mine to just tell the people what they think they can do better than me, or why they stand a chance better than me. But again, you find in Kondele, it's always different because there are a lot of dynamics involved. People tend to shift politics into the personal things and personal relationship, personal engagement. But you see, as we are focused on what are we going to deliver to the people of Kondele. Yes, if you are my competitor today, that is what I would expect you to do. I wouldn't expect you maybe to go outside there, maybe start abusing Cecil, or maybe start saying some nasty things. Like we're in an era where that is outdated. Yes, you need to be straight and open. Like, what am I going to do? What do you want to do to the people of Kondele? What change do you want to bring? Yes, so that we argue on dynamics and we argue on manifesto, and the people of Kondele will decide who is better than who. Yes.
Do you think maybe you can share with us maybe your rough estimation of the budget that you've spent roughly, if you can calculate for the past 2 years that you've talked about, that you've sustained this campaign?
I cannot estimate, but I would tell you it has costed us so far. So far it has costed us a lot of money because by voters card that you have, that is you're going to use to vote for Cecil. So I have been a #1 advocate for that, and I am happy it is now picking up through the Gen Z, so that kila mtu akue kadi. Yes.
All right. Now, moving to the national politics now. Now, are you for one term or the two term?
I don't know if I am one term or two term, because people have labeled one term and two term differently, and people have turned it for personal gains. But for me, it is about development. If I am to vote Ruto, then I must sit down and analyze, how has Ruto engaged us people of Nyanza? What have we gained in this government? And currently you can see there have been gains within this government. So for me, that alone is enough reason that I would say I am two-term. Yes. On the other hand, there are people who say one time. I don't dispute them, because maybe the level that they expected an engagement in development has not been to the level they want. So they also have their right to say one term.
So if you say maybe you are around two term, do you think that President Ruto has done enough according to whatever he promised?
Yeah, he has not done enough, but he has tried to make sure there development all over the place. So that is one thing that we must support him in doing that. Yes. But you see, he's also a president, and he has a lot of shortcomings that must also be addressed. You heard ODM team saying the other day, we must not just not go and say two-term blindly. It must be a structured engagement that is going to determine if we are singing this two-term, what is the end result for us. We are going to say this two-term. So we are not just going to wake up and just say two-term blend. There must be a structured engagement that outlines the development we are going to get. For me, it's not even about the numbers of people who is going to give work, because you can give work to individuals, and these individuals might fail to help the wananchi. But it is about how are they going to negotiate for the development, because that is the only part that is going to reach the common mwananchi. The number of offices or positions we are going to be given. So we must be categorically clear on how we are going to have this engagement. And this engagement, what is going to be the end product of this engagement? Yes.
Now, before even we continue, which political party are you going to vie with?
Not vie with. I am a full member of ODM, so that is where I belong, and that is where I am. Yes.
And speaking of ODM now, ODM, we have now two fractions. We have the Linda Mwananchi and also the Linda. What's your take about the Linda Mwananchi and the Linda Ground? Where do you belong? Are you Sifuna or you are with the Buru?
You see, currently, ODM has one party leader. And that party leader is Dr. Buru. So that is the party leader of ODM. There is no other party leader apart from that. Sifuna is the party leader. In fact, Sifuna is a member of ODM.
Yes. Now, are you supporting the movement that are you supporting the agenda that they're trying to push around, or they're trying to push the people?
You see,
or the current leadership that is happening within ODM?
You see, when there is a change, not everyone will align with that change. Because we have made this change, there must be people with different opinions, people with different views. But at the end of the day, how do we harmonize all these views to make up to one thing that is going to make the party strong and grow? So ODM is a democratic party. That is where we have the D in the ODM. So people like Sefona, it is their democratic right to outline something that they feel is not working within the party. Yes. So the only thing we need to focus on is they have outlined this. Which mechanism are we having in place to make sure there are no gaps or loopholes that is going to make ODM fall. But otherwise, we want ODM to be established. That's why I always say that is the one good thing Baba left us with. Baba left us with ODM, and we must make sure we find a way of making ODM as it was, because now we don't have who is going to speak for us. But we have the party that will stand up for us. Yes, so we must support the party with everything. Yes.
And now, speaking of the ODM party, do you think President Ruto has captured ODM as a party, or what do you think?
For me, you see, Ruto is not a member of ODM, but Ruto is the president of Kenya. So Ruto should not have a say in what happens in ODM, because ODM has an institution that should be followed and respected. So Ruto wants ODM to support his next bid, but we must support that next bid as an independent institution, as an independent party, and we must have what I said, a structured engagement and an MOU that is going to help us understand the levels of engagement that we are going to have. So if Ruto is having a say in ODM, then that is against the constitution and the policies of the party. Yes.
Now, you saw the 10-point agenda that was signed by the president and also the late Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and that is why the Sifuna team, led by himself, Sifuna and Babu Wino, they termed that as a 10-point lie agenda. Now, what's your take? Because whatever they agreed with, whatever they signed, because that agenda has the signature of only two people, that is Right Honorable Raila Odinga and also President Ruto. And whatever they launched is not reflecting whatever the discussion, whatever the 10-point agenda was supposed to be for the people. Now, what's your point on that?
I think we need to be realistic with this, and there has been minimal implementation of the 10-point agenda, because if you look at, we talked about compensation. Nothing has been done. The other day they just said money has been set aside. You see, setting money aside and having engagement with people who lost their loved ones is two different things. So for me, I think at one point they have failed in the 10-point agenda. They are slow in implementing the 10-point agenda. Yes.
Just put a mark on that. We are coming back with more shortly. Therefore, we are taking another quick short break. We are coming back with the continuation of the scope conversation. Don't go away.
him, because that is the last document that Baba left. And to honor Baba, a legacy and a life lived, we must make sure the 10-point agenda is achieved fully. Yes.
And now, right now, now leaving the 10-point agenda aside, we are still in progress that Baba left the people of ODM and the people of Kenya now to continue and support President Ruto. And number two, we also have the broad-based government, and because Dr. Buru says that Baba said probably we in 2027 either join them or maybe go independently now as ODM. What do you think about that? Should the ODM party now join the president probably to form the next part of government, or the ODM should have their own party leader, have their own presidential candidate now to go to the 2027 election now as
Baba's statement was very clear that this is not a political engagement or an MOU to support UDA. This was an agenda to stabilize the country, because at that point or that time the country was going to burn, and the only thing was to find a way of stabilizing the country and supporting the current government in areas that they are in. So it was not a political support. And Baba said it. There's a point, I even remember Baba said, who told you we are not going to have a presidential candidate in 2027? Who told you? So Baba asks such questions. And Baba said, we are only here to support the government. We are not here to support individuals in their positions. Yes, and that is what we have been doing. And if we are going to have a 2027 engagement, then it has to be on a fresh note, on having a clear engagement that I said, structured engagement of if we are going to form a coalition, or we are going to go into the next election as an individual entity. So that is going to be addressed in the near future after some ODM issues are put in place. So for me, it is not guaranteed that Baba said we must support Ruto in 2027. Yes.
And now, aside from now the agenda and the ODM, now what do you think from the current political rise that the president has had, and also the opposition leaders regarding Chagwa, the exchange that happened at the other time? What's your take on that? Do you think they are doing the right thing, or do you think what is the direction politically?
For me, it's not the right thing, because I have never believed in politics or personal defamation. I have never believed in such kind of politics. Yes, and for me, it is setting a bad precedence. It's setting something that shouldn't exist in our political structures currently. So I don't know how you expect me, who want to be an MCA, to have an engagement if you people who we are looking up to are having some nasty exchange. Yes. So it's something that should stop, and it's something that is not going to make a rift between so many people. And you see, that is why a body was formed to always check on politicians, especially on the hate speech. It's something national cohesion of. So those are the things that should be addressed, so that we have a peaceful engagement, a peaceful campaigns that are well structured, campaigns that speak to what the people want to see happening, not a campaign that is directed to you your physical appearance, how you live in your house, people you sleep with. You see, at the end of the day, how you live with your wife, or how you go to bed with your wife, how does that reflect to an concept you want to build to Kenyans? Yes. So it has to be something that needs to be addressed so that we move forward positively. Yes.
Maybe as we move to the end, maybe do you think whatever is happening is setting example to the young people now? You as a young aspirant, aspirant that should be looking up to now the president as a senior politician. Do you think they are setting the right direction or right pace to the young people, their politicians?
No. They're not setting anything positive to young people. They're just doing more harm to young people. Imagine people who are looking up to the president, people who used to see, maybe there are people who still feel Gachagua is their leader, and you see there are things that don't sit well with Kenyans, and they don't need to happen. And you see, for me, I have always been an admirer of President Ruto, and I expect him to be as calm and to be focused on what is going to help Kenyans, not this side shows of abuses, and at the end of the day, it's not going to benefit us. Yes.
Now, if elected, now as a young politician, if elected, are you going to work with the probably the opposition, or maybe these people who are fighting parties?
You see, if I'm elected, the way I'm going to be elected, I am going to be elected with ODM. We are going to have a governor, we are going to have an MP. These are people I must work with. These are people I must be in good books with, because without them, I don't think we're going to get to the development we want to see in Kondele Ward. So for me, I am not a person to build enemies and to create grudges. I am going to be open to work with everyone for the betterment of Kondele.
Now, as we finish, how are you going to make sure that these leaders, now you as an aspirant of Kondele Ward, now from the top government down to the county government, how are you going to make sure that these leaders are accountable and each and every coin is accountable? Because some of these things you find that probably the CDF fund has been dispatched, and probably they don't even reach the people who they're supposed to reach. Probably a development fund has been released to the county government, and when it reaches county government, there are a lot of nitty-gritties that get reached. But probably, even if that work is done, like the other time I saw a road that was to be tarmacked in one of the roads that in Kondele. Those people came and just they did some mara after that, that road was done. Probably that showed the funds were given. Now, if it reaches now the people who are supposed to make sure that this is done, they don't do whatever that's now you are a young MCA who is aspiring. How are you going to make sure that these leaders are held accountable for such small things that they don't do?
You see, that is why we have an oversight role. An oversight role must be put into place and into action. Because if we are not going to do our work as an oversight, then it means we're going to lose as a county. And if you look at currently, that is something that we have had a big challenge on. You find maybe there are few elected leaders who does not understand their role. Because what is your role as an elected leader? So you must perform within your role excellently. Because if you don't perform excellently, then it means the people you are representing are going to suffer. So I am not here to go and make my people suffer. Yes, I am here to put a smile in their faces. I am here to make them feel this government is really trying to make a change in their lives. we must make sure the oversight role is done well.
Now maybe Leslie, you can talk to the people of Kondele. What now? Tell them what you are planning for them, and maybe your manifestos. Maybe you can just tell us a brief of whatever manifesto that you are doing as an aspirant of Kondele.
The people of Kondele is your boy here, Cecil, and as I always say, I am here to offer my leadership to the people of Kondele. I am here to take the center stage. I am here to lead the people of Kondele to a destination where we can have a community that is well equipped, a community that offers opportunity to young people, a community that offers basic health services to the people, a community that improves the lives of small business people within Kondele. So that is why I am here, to take that direction and to lead in making this dream and making this change a reality to the people of Kondele. And hopefully we are going to be together in this, and we are going to make sure we get into this destination together, united, and to make Kondele great as we want it to be.
All right, thank you so much. You've heard from Mheshimiwa Sese himself, and he's spoken to you as a member of Kondele County Ward. Make sure that you take your votes. Make sure you as a young person, make sure ukukani, so that we change the narrative of the nation. He is a young man who is aspiring for a good thing in Kondele, to bring changes, and also make sure that your lives as the citizens and the members of Kondele Ward are comfortable, so that you can access from healthcare and everything that you need. Thank you so much for watching this morning conversation. Thank you for being with us since we started this conversation. Thank you so much also, Mheshimiwa, for making time, and also for taking your time to be here at Citiscope TV. Thank you so much, dear, for being with us. From me and my entire team, we say thank you so much. May we see you tomorrow for another show, same time, same place. And God bless you.
Thank you.
Joni mumuone alotenda makuu kwangu,